Please, be honest. You're gonna get extra credit.
Just you.
If you're honest, you'll get extra credit.
I didn't think it was groundbreaking.
It's not groundbreaking.
I definitely, anything she said, I was like, I get it. I've experienced it.
Yeah, it's like, it's okay. You have to be open. You have to take the good with the bad, basically. Could that solve this whole article?
Pretty much.
Maybe. I mean, it's a rotten cliche. But you got to take the good with the bad, ups and downs, hills and valleys, peaks. What the hell is that saying? That song? I don't know. Ain't no valley high enough? I don't know.
You know it's a lie. You sing it every night.
I sing it every night before. On the way home, I sing it every night. That and Justin Bieber. I'm ashamed. Yeah, I mean, it could be summed up quite succinctly in that manner. Why go through all the hoopla? Right. So, Adrian, what are your thoughts?
I think it was about having to look at yourself and look at and analyze your difficulties and really look in yourself and find out, why am I depressed? Why am I going through this despair? What did I do to bring this on?
Why didn't she do a good job of convincing you in the article?
It's not that she convinced me. I'm more of the solution-oriented individual than
solution-oriented. But
give me the reason. How am I going to
why is this different? This is a very solution-oriented article, is it not?
I don't think so.
It's not?
Well, I think she's telling you need to look at the darkness, look at your depression, look at your negative feelings, and
I mean, you know,
it will help you understand them. But I don't need to know how to. I don't need to know how to understand them. I need to know how to how to overcome it.
You don't know how to overcome it, or you do?
No, that's what I need to know.
You need to know how to
Right?
overcome it. Well, isn't that what the article is trying to say, of how to overcome it?
Yeah, by embracing it.
By embracing it. So are we here to suffer? Are we here to? This is all about perspective. This is all about thinking about things from a different point of view. Are we here to suffer? Is it all meaningless? Is it all a bunch of bullshit? You have the power to look at it that way. Remember what Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad unless the mind thinks it so. Maybe this is what Greenspan's talking about. Embrace. Somebody said embrace. Somebody said allow. Somebody said don't run away from it. Embrace that part of ourselves. It's dark.
What you're kind of talking about too reminds me of, I can't remember exactly where I read it, but it was a quote and it said, have you ever seen a wild thing feel sorry for itself?
Ha! I love that. Where did you get that?
I don't remember where I saw it.
Oh, I love that. Have you ever seen a wild thing feel sorry for itself? Well, how many people have ever heard of Walt Whitman? I can't believe I'm talking about Walt Whitman in this class. I love Walt Whitman. Anybody ever heard of Walt Whitman? Leaves of Grass? One of the greatest poets of all time. Let me show you. You're going to love this picture of him. He's just a cool-looking dude. And I can arguably say probably one of the greatest writers of all time, maybe the Shakespeare in the second half of the millennium. Okay. Whitman says, I look at the animals and I think to myself, wow, they're never embarrassed. They just do what they do. They eat, they sleep. They don't think about tomorrow. They don't think about the past. They don't think about yesterday. They don't erect statues of people that lived thousands of years ago and bow to them. Wow, these animals, maybe they're above us. Maybe there's something to this. Again, nature, going to nature. Nature has always been our greatest teacher. Nature has always been our greatest teacher. When Obama says, I want the United States to be the lighthouse for the rest of the world, what's that called? Metaphor. Metaphor, symbol. Okay? When Jay-Z says, I got pockets like dark caverns, what the hell does that mean? Well, it's a simile, right? Okay? But he's saying that, you know, he's got pockets so deep that what? You can fill a lot of, you know, put a lot of things in it. Money, probably, right? When Shakespeare says, she's got lips like 2 rose petals. She's got lips like 2 rose petals. What's that? Simile, right? This kind of dynamic language, this is used every day. This is used in your politicians. This is used in your classrooms. This is definitely used in those business meetings and exchanges and interviews and so forth. It's It's the kind of language that makes your writing that much more vivid, that much more colorful, that much more rhetorically effective. This kind of dynamic language. Try and engage in that. Try and implement that in your writing. Simile and metaphor. Like or as, symbol. Okay? So when he says, the way it tightened like a fiddle string, you can just picture that. Yeah, fiddle strings are very, very tight. What the hell am I doing? Yeah. I'm left-handed and right. I'm ambidextrous, so I got both. For now, I want to do a kind of brief little talk on what is analysis, and what do I mean by falsifiability, and all that kind of jazz. I feel like I need to do this little brief overview. Can you see that, or do I need to turn on some lights? I use this term called falsifiable. If you want to do a persuasive speech on gay rights, you want to do a persuasive speech on wearing a seatbelt, while you drive. If you want to do a persuasive speech on the sky is blue, is that a falsifiable statement? Why not? Because the sky is blue. There's no point arguing that. There's no point in arguing that. I mean, you could abstractly argue that in some ridiculous way. You know, but there's no point arguing that. There's no point arguing that dark chocolate is better than milk chocolate. Why?
Because it is still chocolate.
Really? Why? Because it's still what?
Chocolate.
It's still chocolate, but it's also, that's a subjective opinion. How am I gonna out-argue that? Well, no, milk chocolate's better because why? Because taste buds produce what? No. Some people like milk chocolate, some people like dark chocolate. Those aren't falsifiable. Okay. But whether or not we should continue a SETI program that examines and analyzes whether we have alien life in the world, yeah, that's something that we can debate over. It's basically what it means is it has to be something that provokes discussion, something that provokes thought, something that's debatable, something that is arguable. Does that make sense at all? Logical, that is valid with all premises leading to a conclusion, being true. Yeah, that's where objectivity lies in, really lies in importance. My key thing is I want you to engage your audience. Your delivery has to be engaging. Your delivery has to have that eye contact. Your delivery has to have some energy, some enthusiasm. Don't just get up here and go, the process of DNA, that monotone, the process of DNA is very interesting because DNA can also develop into many different... I'm lost. I'm done. Finished. I'm not asking you to be, Al Pacino. I'm not asking you to be President Obama, one of the greatest speakers we've ever had. I'm not asking you to be that. Just put the effort in there. That's going to get you great. Put the effort in. I can tell when you're not putting in the effort. Believe me, I was the class clown of all class clowns. I was the Mozart of class clowns. I know a lot of you guys find that hard to believe. I never thought I was going to be teaching, ever. I'll give you a little background. Never thought I'd ever be teaching. But I finally discovered I love to teach. Life's funny that way. Carlo, you probably can relate to this. People who are a little bit, around my age can probably relate to this. Life's funny that way. You never know what's going to happen. I never thought I'd be doing this, ever. If somebody told me this 10 years ago, you're going to be teaching a class in critical thinking, I would have been like, get out of my face. Never in a million years. But I love to teach. I discovered that I love to teach. Huh? Serving 5 to 20. No, I was my ideal lifestyle was, the dream life of the writer. Live by the beach, write all day, go out bike riding, do my activities, do my nighttime activities, and and then start all over. Just write my books and be creative, and I do that. But I have to supplement my income. I'm not Stephen King, and so teaching was kind of like the only real option for my major. And I frowned on it. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to teach. But that's how life is funny that way. Once I did it, oh my God, it was like an explosion. When you finally figure out what you're meant to do, it's like one of those moments. I love doing it. I wouldn't trade it for, even if they paid me, well, they kind of do pay me nothing. But yeah, think about it. here I am talking about something I love, which is writing and language, and I'm getting paid for it. That's fantastic. I can't ask for anything more. I mean, I could talk about writing and language all day and night. I love it. That's what I love to do. Now, I'm not asking you to love what it is, but I hope that what you get from this class is how necessary it is, how important it is. You don't have to love it. You don't have to love it. I'm not asking you to love it. But I mean, if you have an appreciation for it, if you have a respect for it, and then I somehow illuminate why it's important to know this stuff, that's all I can ask. That's why I say nature and life are the greatest teachers. I'm not really a teacher. It's more like a kind of a curator. I can only guide. I can't really teach you. I can't really implant this in your, I'm not trying to convert you. I'm just hoping that you can see why it's significant. Okay, well, you're supposed to pass these out, Erica. What happened?